So typical week on the tour, we would arrive on a Monday. So our working week on tour is Monday to Wednesday. So we get in Monday, just when the players are all arriving. Typically we'll be in touch with the players. So the players may be struggling with a certain part of their game. We may be trying to work in new product into their game. And we constantly keep an eye on their scores and their statistics and things like that. See if there's any area we can help them in. Quite often the players will be texting us or WhatsApp saying, I need to see you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for a driver fitting. I want to test this. I want to test the putter, something like that. So we'll have plenty of work lined up, and then plus there's the players kind of that just walk on each week that want to try something new, or they want to try the latest shaft or the latest driver or something like that. So we're here for all of that. So typically the players will come on the truck or the caddies early in the week. This is our soft goods end, so you'll see the pigeonholes we've got for the players all up here. So we've got plenty of our sort of staff players' names up there now. So each week they would get 4 gloves, 3 hats and 3 dozen balls. That would be a typical week on the European Tour for the players. Majors and things like that, we maybe do a little bit more because there's a few more giveaways and things like that. So that would be their sort of regular soft goods pack each week. Hats for caddies, and then in the corners we've got towels, umbrellas, rain gloves, rain hoods, everything like that. So we can pretty much cover them for all their sort of needs. Out the back there we've got the office, so that's where sort of our meetings take place. We'll meet with players' agents, things like that. Sometimes the players will just come on the truck and they like to sort of take a little break from practice for half an hour. John Rahm likes to do that a lot. He's probably the high profile one that comes on and chills out on the truck a lot. He just comes on, oh guys, can I grab a coffee? So one of us will go and sit with him and just chill out with him for half an hour. So he's a pretty cool guy. But a lot of them that know us, they'll come on quite regularly and just take a break for half an hour at the back. We've got a little coffee machine and TV and stuff. So that's quite a nice little feature as well. This end is the workstation, if you like. So I'll sort of take you through here. So this is our sort of little rep station, if you like. So we keep all the pads here. So we'll write down all the details, the player, the name. You can see the sort of details that we go into in some of the clubs is quite in depth. So we'll write out an order here. We can take the full specification of a club with, the weights we've got here, swing weight machine, loft and lie machine, loft and lie here, putter, loft and lie. So we can get pretty much every spec that we need here. Then what would happen? We take the spec sheet off. That will go down the end. We've got Henry down there at the moment. He's one of our tour technicians. So the orders would go to their sort of area and then they start building up. So if you come down this end, this is where we keep our driver heads. So these trays typically, you can see they're pretty much half full at the moment, but when we first go out on the road, these drawers are pretty much full with product. So we've got every single loft, every single kind of head you can see. The tour versions, basically, of our heads, they're all kind of made in the same place, come out with the same molds and everything. The only difference with our tour product is we get them CT tested and they come in with a few more extra details just so we know the exact lie, the exact loft, the exact face angle we're working with, because the smaller details are quite important for these guys. Like a quarter of a degree in loft can be the difference between 200 or 300 RPM of spin, which is quite important when we're dialing in a player as best as we possibly can. So we need to know exact details when we're working with these guys. Whereas for a 15 handicapper, knowing whether it's an 8.2 or an 8.5 loft isn't quite as important. But for these guys that can be quite a big deal. So yeah, drivers, fairway woods. This is our shaft rack. This is pretty cool. So I like to say this is fully stocked at the start of the year, and we go out on the road sometimes for 6 or 7 weeks in a row, so we have to have enough stock to cover us for all of those events. So the shaft rack, when it's fully stocked, will carry around 2,500 to 3,000 shafts, around that. So it's pretty much nothing we can't build or do on here. So we'll make sure we're getting supplies in from all the shaft manufacturers running up to the season, so we can pretty much cover every current shaft and all the shafts that they want us to promote, all their current products, as well as up here you can see we've got all of our list of all of our staff players, all the guys that play our product on the tour, as well as our icon players there. So if they've got any particular shaft setups, we make sure we've got a backup shaft for every single club in their bag up that rack there. So that's quite a new feature we added this year, and it's quite cool. Some of our guys, our European staff players are coming on and seeing their names next to like Tiger and Dustin Johnson and that, so that's pretty cool. And also, it's quite nice to show guys like you, who are quite interested, some of the guys are interested to know what shafts, Tiger's playing in his driver, in his irons and things like that. So everything we cover them shaft-wise there. Heads over here. Come over this side and I'll show you, this is our sort of wedge and iron area. So this again, you can see we've had a few weeks on the road. We've just come back from Scottish Open, Irish Open, British Open, and obviously now we're here at the Ladies Open. So you can see the stock is a little bit depleted, so it's looking forward to going back to base and topping up on stock. But you can see we pretty much cover all wedge options. There's the high toes in there. Again, these would be pretty much stocked out when we go first off on the road. A bit further down our iron drawers. So we always carry about 5 to 6 sets of every model of iron that we do on the tour. So up here we've got like the smaller details. So when we're building the clubs, everything's built to an exact swing weight. So and that's how we achieve that, is with little weights like this. So when the guys are building the clubs, they'll be checking the swing weight on our swing weight scale here. And we've got every weight here from 0.5 up to 17 gram weights that we put in the heads. That's for irons and wedges, just to get it to an exact swing weight. So every single club is going to feel completely, the same right throughout the bag. So the player's not going to have any difference in feel throughout the bag. And then the woods would be, we have plenty of options for woods as well. Again, this is one of the things we do in a lot of detail on the tour, is swing weights on players' clubs. So giving them that first shot, if we know this player uses, say, a D3 swing weight in their driver, we would not even let them hit it if it was a D1 or a D5, because they're going to feel that and they're going to feel the difference. Whereas again, your average club golfer probably wouldn't quite feel the difference between 1 or 2 swing weights, whereas these guys can feel half a swing weight even sometimes. Yeah. So it's quite vital for us that we get this clubs built to a really exact and precise specification. Another thing that's quite important for that one that we use, this is our loft and line machine for testing woods. So we put the club in here, saw one over in the spec area there. So whenever we're taking details on a 3 wood, 5 wood, any sort of metal wood, we'll clamp it in here. It tells us the exact lie angle and the exact loft. So when we're building something, again, if we're building them a driver which is 8.5 degrees, we know it needs to be exactly 8.5 degrees. And we know it needs to be exactly 59 lie. So this is the sort of piece of machinery we would use for that. Just to, again, making sure that we're looking at the finer details and we're trying to get that player exactly what they want. Obviously, there's hundreds of different grip options out there. So this is our kind of grip drawers, if you like. So we pretty much carry every grip that you can think of in these drawers here. And just as we did with the shaft rack up there, we've got all of our players. You can see sort of our players' names and all the different grips. So you can see there's quite a variety of different grip options that the guys are using. So we would typically just make sure we've always got a full set of grips for every player that we support on the truck there. And a few of our kind of more icon type players there. So John Rahm, Jason Day, Rory, Tiger, Tommy Fleetwood's grips there, Timer, DJ, Hao Tong. So, and these are pretty unusual. Gavin Green and Lucas Herbert. You get a lot of the Australians and Asian players that play in humidity using these like kangaroo leather grips, which are quite unusual and hard for us to get. So we always make sure we're stocked up on those as well. So once that club order goes down there, the guys build it, they glue it, they'll get it up to swing weight, and then lastly it'll end up down here. This is the Griffin Station. So once you take the club goes in here, gets clamped in, tape comes on, grip goes on. That would typically take maybe 15 minutes to dry before the player can use it. So really, from when we come on and write out the order, we can be on the range hitting it with them in, as little as 20 minutes, to be honest. So we can get a driver turned around as quick as that and be hitting it, and they can then take it out on the course. And sometimes, when they want something to take to the course, sometimes it's they want something pretty quickly, and sometimes it can be a bit more of an in-depth session where we might, use TrackMan and go over the numbers and really dial it in for them over the course of an hour or whatever. Sometimes it can be a process for 2 or 3 weeks while we're dialing the club in just to get it perfect. So once the club's gripped, dried and everything like that, you'll see over here, this is our orders bag. So all the players know that whenever they're waiting for a club to be built, they know the process now. They come on or they send their caddy on. We drop the club in here, so there's quite a lot of clubs left over from the Open in here, to be honest. That was the last time the truck was out. So that's why you'll see a few of the high profile players' clubs in here. This was pretty cool. This was Tiger. He was doing some 2-iron testing at the Open a couple of weeks ago. So there's a couple of big clubs we built up. So yeah, the orders go in here. The players or the caddies will come on. They know they can take it, and they'll generally work with myself or one of the other tour reps to just make sure the club's perfect to go and play. And that's pretty much the process of the truck. So yeah, this is our sort of home from home, if you like, and we spend a lot of time here. So as you can see, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.